Hello guys, DJParson here, and we're back with another game of the World Championship, and this is going to be the first 4-player game of this current stage, so let's hop right in. Here we are once again up against the same opponents that you already know. It's Wandering Wolf, P Tactician, Pete, and Kristen. And I have the first turn. I already took the Roman roads. Let's take a look at the leaders and wonders really quickly. I mean, obviously there are a lot of them. We see Acropolis, Magic Castle, Machu Picchu, Suez Canal, and Ocean Liner. We do have Cook, so there could be colonies. We also have Eleanor, Columbus for that. We have Pierre, we have Chaplin, Hollywood, Red Cross, Bill Gates, Einstein, computer leaders, Bach and Shakespeare. Yeah, a lot of leaders. Not that many military leaders. Military actions in H2 are very rare, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I took the Roman roads here with my first civil action. Wandering Wolf takes Colosseum and Alex. Then Pete is gonna go for Hammurabi and the Rich Land. And Kristen has the last choice, and she will go for Engineering Genius and the Stockpile. Alright, so we're set from HA. Let's get into H1, where I will start increasing population, building a mine, grabbing the urban growth, and frugality. I mean, 2 urban growths here could have also worked, but it's hard to spend the second one early on. Frugality doesn't cluster your hand too much, so it's yeah, it's not ideal. I would have rather had a leader, but all of them were on 2 and 3 CAs. Maybe I could have gone for Confucius, but I preferred this play. Wandering Wolf goes for the mine, goes for urban growth, and of course has elected Alex. Pete is gonna go for Hammurabi. Needs a wonder. Let's see if he goes for Stonehenge maybe. Goes for the mine. Pop does go for Stonehenge. And grabs Frugality. Interesting. I probably would have gone for a cultural heritage with Hammurabi. You have the extra CA, get the pun science extra. Kristen here goes for mine, goes for Aristotle. Has the engineering genius, but no wonder. And won't take any on the second row here. Understandably, they're not really good, and you don't want to pay too much for them. But that means I will get Confucius this turn for just 1 CA. Then I will build one of the a lab with the urban growth and increased population. So still very, very standard plays here. Nothing too exciting to talk about yet. Let's see. Wandering Wolf does use Alex, goes for Saladin. I agree with that decision. Goes for a lab. So yeah, not a bad start for him. Getting Alex, getting a replacement for Alex really quickly in Saladin. Pete, 2 technologies for 2 civil actions. Relatively expensive, but he wants the knights, he wants the monarchy, and especially with that Stonehenge, he will have a lot of extra science, so he can even go for the monarchy next turn, and that's going to be quite strong. Kristen here goes for St. Pete's, goes for the warfare, shows the Legion, also builds a lab, and doesn't increase population. So that is a little bit dangerous. If cards get pushed, she won't have a free population here. I will push, we get 3 rocks instead. And I'm gonna just use that to finish the Roman roads, get the extra rock production going now, and get extra food or less consumption as well, so that's pretty nice here. And then the rest of the row was still not that good. No. So yeah, good turn to just spend all the civil actions finishing that Roman roads. You have to take that time at some point, and the earlier the better. Development of civil life. Wandering Wolf also takes iron here, finishes the Colosseum, and that's it for him. But next turn he can start going for those iron upgrades. Pete goes for Revolution, also not bad. With Hammurabi, of course, he gets to have an extra civil action, builds a warrior to get out of corruption. Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, you could argue that you could also get the science from the Stonehenge, and you don't have to do the revolution, but this is a pretty good revolution turn. Use Hammurabi quite effectively, so can't say that I don't like that. Kristen now goes for the Machu, goes for the St. Pete's. Can with Engineering Genius finish that. Gets the extra happy faces, grabs Vigilance, still not having free population. She doesn't value that too much apparently. I will push, we get Development of Religion, there it is. So Kristen won't be able to take that. I will, so I get that free religion. I get Iron here, can upgrade 1 and increase population. Could go for Columbus, but I don't have Colony, so I don't want to do that. I'm still relatively happy with Confucius for now, getting the extra science. Wolfia goes for Iron as well. Upgrade 1. Grabs Machu Picchu and increased population. So gets himself another one, another Strength Wonder. He already has the Colosseum, now also the Magic Castle and an early Iron. Could get some good military going in H2 if he decides to go that route. Pite here goes for Nostradamus and will finish the Stonehenge. So he will sit on a lot of science. Yeah, now the question is, what will he spend it on? I mean, you can always find something to spend science on, so it's not a big problem. Especially we are not far into the deck, so Dark Ages isn't that likely. So we'll see where he spends that. Development of markets, so extra rocks. Kristen here is going to go for Masonry. Increased population once, goes for Aurora, goes for Genghis Khan. Shows the heavy cav. Will not decide to go for Genghis Khan this turn, just increase population. She could have built another warrior and elect Genghis Khan and get that extra 3 culture, but apparently she wants to have the option to get more science from Aristotle instead, which is not wrong. Development of trade routes, so more stuff for us. I can go for alchemy here as well, so I will get a really nice production going. I have the iron, I will go for the alchemies. So go for the alchemies first. 4 science production, 5 rocks still. Next turn I can upgrade all of those. But yeah, just very solid production up to this point. Will opens the development of science, so even more science for everybody. We will go for warrior. Upgrade 1 more iron. Can pop twice. Goes for reserves and the drama. Alright. Shows the Legion as well, does not fulfill it yet, so strength is still relatively low here for everybody. I am the weakest for now, and we might see our first strength events, but no. 1 science for everybody, I pushed that of course. So 16 science for Pite here. We'll go for Nostradamus. Population again. Goes for the irrigation, can upgrade 2 of them. Yeah, what he's really looking for is the Code of Laws. That would be great for him. To spend some of that science. Kristen now, will she push? Yes. Hooray, that's nice for Kristen and Wandering Wolf. Getting that extra stuff. Goes for Monarchy here, also great way to spend that science. We'll build another warrior and probably play Genghis Khan now. Yeah, 8 strength now, 3 culture production extra from Genghis Khan. And pop twice to get out of corruption. No, not quite, so can build another warrior. Not ideal, the extra warrior, but yeah, alternative would have been corruption, so you don't want that. I will push, we get Historic. Wandering Wolf is able to snag this one. I didn't want it, I don't need Happy Face. I need my population somewhere else. But yeah, we are looking at a lot of strength now, so I probably should go for those knights, and I do that. Can develop them. Can build a knight and show the tactics, so going up to 5 strength. This way I can even defend, so if Kristen goes for an aggression, I can defend with my 2 defend cards, and then I even get a warfare so that I'm more secure. So I think that is yeah, that is a good way. I have a lot of production in science and rocks, and now I have to be careful that I don't get punished by military. So the knights being there and me having the tactic really played out quite well for me. Wandering Wolf indeed finds the first Code of Laws. Just 2 civil actions and 2 civil actions and goes for it immediately. Grabs the swordsman, builds 2 warriors. Okay, also goes up to 5 strength. And now Pite opens the wealthy territory. Pite is going to take that. Me and Wandering Wolf are afraid of an aggression. If we send something away, Kristen could just punish us with an aggression. But like this, Pite is going to take it for just a warrior. So a lot of rocks in hand. We'll build a knight, build another knight. Maybe wants to copy. No, has his own medieval army. So he goes up to 7 strength. Alchemy and Own Growth, also really nice. Can go for those upgrades next turn and get his science production some more up. And he does indeed go for an aggression, or she does. Kristen goes for the aggression, but I am able to defend, as we said. Kristen then goes for irrigation. Upgrades 2 of those. Doesn't use the rich land. That would have given her corruption, so she just keeps that for now. Can maybe use it for the iron later on. So I have not a single card in my hand, so can't push, can't get the extra signs from Confucius. Can go for another knight and another warrior though, so I'm making me the strongest. I will also go for Michelangelo. But the biggest problem is happy faces, so next turn I will lose 2 yellow cubes of course, because the age will end. And then I won't have enough happy faces, so I will take the theology. Could just go for that next turn, I have enough rocks. That means that I don't have to destroy anything next turn. And then that even has some added value from Michelangelo, of course. The extra happy phases from theology will produce culture. Not a big deal, but a small one. It could be useful. H2 will start. And as I said, some unhappy workers for me. Wandering Wolf doesn't get his pact with Kristen. Says no to that. Wandering Wolf will just finish the Magic Castle, going up to 7 strength. Can go for those swordsmen. Also grabs an alchemy and a frugality. So next turn he can go for the alchemy, upgrade those. So we see a lot of irons and a lot of alchemies. Some really good H1 production. And now the knowledge of the ancients, some more science for everybody. Kristen has the least, Wandering Wolf gets 1 extra. And Pite now goes for an extra warrior, goes for Code of Laws. So finally some ways to spend his science. Can also go for iron, can even develop that this turn and upgrade once. So yeah, all the irons are in play, all the alchemies will be in play, irrigations too. Kristen now goes for the Great Wall, grabs Breakthrough. Great Wall has some nice synergies with the Masonry if she manages to use that. Doesn't quite. So we will see if she still goes for the Masonry or not. But building the first stage here gets her out of corruption, so that part is nice. But that makes the Masonry a little bit worse. So could also be that we don't see that one. I now have to go for that theology upgrade. Not something you like too much necessarily, but still good, or still necessary. And then I get the Ocean Liner, so getting some value from Michelangelo, because I only had to spend the 2 civilizations and not the extra 1. And this is pretty big for me. I will be able to finish that, I think, next turn already. I think, yeah, I have corruption still, so 12 rocks are enough to finish the Ocean Liner next turn. And then I will, I mean, my rock production isn't even that good anymore. I have to upgrade my 2 irons. But getting the Ocean Liner here will give me a lot of population, and that's the one thing I was missing up to this point. So that is really, really nice. Wolf goes for pushing and opens the Barbarians, and Kristen will actually lose a population. Has the most culture and is actually the weakest. Wandering Wolf goes for Nobel, getting more science production. Goes for selective breeding, will also get up his food production, but probably next turn. Goes for 2 upgrades on a swordsman and make him actually the strongest now. Pite now will also push. Get the rebellion. Oof. Oof for Kristen. 2 discontent workers, so 4 selections gone, leaving her with 1. She could have finished the Great Wall, making her the strongest once again, but this hurts. This really, really hurts. Pite is gonna go for the Howard College, so maybe will skip the alchemies after all, has engineering genius, can finish the Howard College next turn, get extra science from there. But this turn will spend some rocks on upgrading. So also really strong position, has upgraded food, upgraded rocks, will next turn be able to finish the Howard College, giving him a lot of extra science, and has a lot of civil actions from the monarchy and the Court of Laws. So really strong position for Pete, I think. Also not bad for Wandering Wolf, and I'm also not looking bad. I think now with what just happened, it's definitely rough for Kristen. Losing a population from the barbarians, losing 4 civil actions because of the rebellion. Before it was looking equal for everybody, but now I think she's falling behind a little bit. We get the good harvest. We'll build 1 step of the Great Wall. Yeah, tough position with when you only have 1 civil action. Also a little bit unlucky, and that's always the problem when your last position. You often have more unhappy workers. So yeah, really unfortunate for her. Next up, I will push. We get the developed territory, and I am actually able to win this one for just a warrior and a card. And then I will grab the architecture. I also have a lot of signs. I'm really waiting for those governments, Cornwall mainly, but even Republic is fine. I do have the warfare. So yeah, I'm able here to finish the ocean liner, and then I can even increase population for free and rebuild the warrior so that I'm once again on 11 strength. So yeah, really nice turn of events, getting that developed territory really cheaply for just the warrior, being able to finish the ocean liner with the help of the architecture, and then even being able to rebuild my strength. So a very solid turn. And yeah, a lot of science in hand. Vast territory is next. Peter is going to take this one for an army, which is pretty expensive, but also a very big colony, so not too expensive by any means. Wandering Wolf goes for upgraded food or science first. First wants the science, doesn't go for the alchemies, goes for scientific methods immediately. And then next turn probably also wants that food. Pete now will increase pop, has a great yellow bank, so looking at his position before was strong. Now he even has added a vast territory, making his yellow bank and population situation even better. Can't finish the Howard College now, wants to rebuild military, goes for 2 knights, goes for his own heavy cavalry. Don't know if I really agree. I think going for a knight and a warrior wouldn't have been bad here. It's usually easier to transition from 2 knights to warriors to something instead of having 3 knights and a warrior. Also spends an extra MA playing the tactic. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think it's a huge mistake or anything. Just not something I would have done. I would have just rebuilt the warrior instead of the extra knight. Grabs reserves, grabs breakthrough, builds the first stage. So next turn he will be able to finish the Howard College, which is still really early. We're still at the beginning of H2. Kristen now goes for the masonry, can finish the Great Wall, up to 13 strength. Grabs coal and cannons. Cannons nice for the Great Wall. Coal also really nice with the rich land. We'll be able to upgrade one of those next turn. And yeah, it's pretty important in 4-player games that you don't stay on just 3 rock production. Makes it pretty hard. But next turn being able to go for the coal upgrade is really good here. I will increase population twice, once with food, once with the ocean liner, build an extra knight because I don't want to be the weakest. Grab an efficient upgrade and a breakthrough. So yeah, I want to upgrade my irons. That's really important. I'm falling behind in rock production. And yeah, I got a relatively early iron, but was never really able to upgrade more of them. So maybe it was even a mistake to go for the alchemies before the iron. I mean, now of course it's easy to say that. I have a lot of science that I haven't spent yet. If I get the Conmon, that would have changed things if I got that earlier. But now in retrospect, it would have been better probably to upgrade more iron and not the extra alchemies. But yeah, you don't know that before. Maybe I could have known that like upgrading one of those and one of the iron maybe would have been best. The international trade agreement here is really good. I can probably offer that next turn to someone to get more rock production then. Maybe even food, I need that at some point with the ocean liner, but yeah. Wandering Wolf here will go and develop the cavalryman using Wave of Nationalism to build one, going to 15 strength, so strength really, really close for everybody. And then also went for the extra food. Pite now will also push, gets Pestilence, so everybody loses population, not a big deal for me. I have the ocean liner. And then Pite goes for journalism. Does he really go for that? Interesting. I don't know about that. I think finishing the Howard College here would have been really, really important. I mean, I can see going for Shakespeare and operas, but you don't really need that in my opinion. It's really, really expensive. And he could have maybe just gone for Bach or Gaudi, Bach and opera, but finishing the Howard College here, getting the extra 3 science production would have been really, really important. I don't know what his plan is now, if he wants to finish that next turn or if he wants to go for operas next turn. But getting Shakespeare with operas and journalism when you don't have anything else is really, really expensive. You first need to build this journalism for 8, then you get the discount on the opera research, and then you have to build the opera for 6. So it's a lot of rocks invested. And doesn't feel like he has. I mean, he has a lot of rocks, but he also needs to spend a lot on this tactic at some point. Center Corporation, Kristen gets this denied by Pite. I mean, Kristen has a little bit of a bank. Pite will produce more science soon, so I think that was not a bad offer. I think Kristen, I probably would have also expected Pite to accept, but he doesn't want that. And yeah, probably you don't want that pact with Wandering Wolf or me, so Pite was the only choice for Kristen, but sadly he rejects. We'll go for the coal upgrade, revolutionary idea, urban growth, so no new leader. Yeah, Bach would need the opera, not that easy to grab both of them. Right. I will go for the international trade agreement with Wandering Wolf. Wandering Wolf will get the extra rocks, I will get the food, just so that I don't have to worry about the food. And this turn I can finally upgrade my irons. I will go for the Republic as well. Go for the Suez Canal, so hopefully finishing that next turn and getting the vast territory. Start building that. So yeah, I don't want to upgrade the iron because like this I will have exactly enough rocks to finish the Suez Canal next turn. We'll then get extra rock production and a good yellow bank. So that's pretty nice. And also once again spending less civil action because of Michelangelo, who's, I mean, he's giving us 2 culture production and saving some civil actions. Oh, and look at that, even getting the autonomous territory drawn now, which is even better than the vast on certain borders. That sucks, losing one of the yellow cubes. I mean, that will be an issue at some point. I could even think about going for the vast territory over the autonomous with the Suez, but autonomous is just so much better. And I mean, I already have a happy face tech. The theologies aren't super great, but I could just go for them and food. I mean, I have extra food from the pack now, so maybe the yellow bank isn't that important at the moment. And it's still okay for me. Let's see what Wandering Wolf did here. He grabbed the Eiffel Tower. He went for an upgrade on something. On the mines, he goes for copying the tank. He goes up to 18 strength. Has a good military here, and also the Himeji Castle. As we said earlier on, he has a strong setup for a strong military and still a very good economy behind this. Pite will open the immigration, Wandering Wolf and Kristen get extra population, really nice for them. Pite goes for Rifleman, builds one of those, goes for 1 journalism. Oh, and he even reveals the tactic. Wants to be the strongest, shows the classic army. That can easily be copied by Wandering Wolf, of course. So there could have been merit to keep that in hand, but Pite wants to be the strongest now. I'm now really hoping that I get the Rifleman, but Kristen, of course, also really has an eye on them. So, yeah. And then Pite will go for Shakespeare, grabs Fragility, Patriotism, and place reserves. Yeah, still not finishing the Harvard College. That, as I said, now also investing into military and that journalism. I still think it would have been better to just skip Shakespeare, finish that Harvard College, maybe grab Bach or whatever, but we will see how it works out. Just feels like he's spreading a little bit thin on where to spend his rocks. Scientific breakthrough. A lot of science for me and Wandering Wolf. Not that much for Kristen. We'll go for cannons. Builds one. Goes Maria Theresa. Really good for her. Has a lot of food, so we'll get a lot of extra science from that. And of course the extra rocks next turn. Develops... I don't know if she has enough science, enough population for the printing presses. But maybe. I guess. Why not? Copies a tactics of 15 strength. I still need a new leader as well. I've been always missing out on the new leaders. James Watt is the last one, so that was not well done by me. I will finish the Suez Canal here. I will go for that, that autonomous territory. I will take the rocks, taking the rifleman here as well. Going for James Watt. Just elect him because why not? Get extra population. Grab the cannon. Go for the rifleman. A lot of civil actions now for me. Upgrade a rifleman, grab reserves. Develop that opera. Still a lot of science. Finally being able to spend some of that. I mean, maybe I can even use James Watt for the selective breeding upgrade. Maybe even for oil later if that's early. And we see our first war of the game. Wandering Wolf goes against Kristen with the war of attack. We'll go for Conmon. Can then copy the tactic. No, goes for cannons. Goes for engineering genius. Where does it get more strength? Builds one cannon, maybe? Yeah. Okay, what is this? Okay, one outdated Napoleonic army. It's actually not that much strength. It's actually not even more than 2 medieval armies, but plays it, spends his military actions in H2 and not H3. 25 strength. Not that much. I guess he maybe wants to sacrifice the warrior with the magic castle to get the extra culture. Not the super scary war, but we will see how Kristen can respond to that. We go into H3 first. Pite is gonna now finish the Harvard College. Go for strategy. Can develop that. Grab scientific method. Okay, interesting. Goes for one population upgrade. 23 strength for him. Krista now goes for a cannon. Increase population. Upgrades one more mine. I like that. Needs more rocks, definitely. Does she have a new tactic? Does she maybe have fortifications? No. So we'll stay at 19. So 6, maybe even 7 science if Wandering Wolf sacrifices will be lost. Yeah, it could get problematic. Maybe the warfare gets stolen. Maybe just science, but definitely not that great for Kristen, obviously. Losing war very rarely is. I will skip politics here. Could have also played the Vast, maybe. But yeah, getting the military theory gives me a lot of military actions. We'll be able to upgrade one more rifleman. Get happy faces from that temple. Copy the tactics. So 26. I'm actually now the strongest. I even have war over territory in hand. So I could set up for a military late game. Culture-wise, if we take a look, I'm behind. No one is super high elite in culture. But also production is really close, so different ways to play this. H3 is going to be quite interesting, I think. Biggest problem for me is at the moment I don't really have a leader. And now I've drawn extra tactic and 2 wars. So the game is telling me something. There's Bill Gates, there's Pierre. We see 6 science stolen. Wandering Wolf does not steal any blue text. He just wants the raw science and then goes for Bill Gates immediately. Grabs multimedia and then probably upgrades. Doesn't upgrade here. Okay, interesting. I think I would have upgraded the subject method. You get extra science and extra rocks from Bill Gates, but he decides to just upgrade the food. Pite now pushes. get international negotiations. I'm the strongest, so Peter can decide to, or that Kristen has to give 3 food to me. I guess I will take those. I mean, Kristen doesn't have any science, so a choice was between food and rocks. Peter is gonna go for movies. They are quite expensive. Even with Shakespeare, they still cost 9 rocks, but he has that, so builds 1, 11 culture production now, grabs the air forces. Kristen grabs the revolutionary idea, 3, and modern infantry. Oh, has a tactic as well now, nice. That gives her 22 strength, has a really good tactic, and can even go for the modern infantry next turn. Will she be able to... she won't. Okay, she could have destroyed maybe a warrior to build a cannon. That obviously means you lose 2 military actions, but with 3 extra rocks from Maria Theresa, it could have been wise to do that. It's hard to tell. Military cards from H3 are really worth a lot, so not getting 2 of those could hurt really bad. Getting the 3 extra rocks used also wouldn't have been bad. I now will also go for a war against Pite, the war for territory. I will go for Chaplain, finally getting a leader that does anything. Can get 3 population running here, spend some reserves, go for a knight, go for an opera even, and go for a rifleman. So up to 35 strength. If I didn't build the opera, I could have upgraded the last warrior to a rifleman and get the tactic not outdated again. So I would have gotten 6 extra strength, so 41. But like this, I get extra culture production. So from Chaplain obviously doubles this, so 6 extra culture production. So I like that more than getting the extra strength here. And this is also only the war of territory. Even if I lose this, it's not super bad. This is more to just use my strength that I want to build up anyway, prepare some prepare some more new wars, maybe the hybrid war if Pite loses this war. Which he might not, because he has the surprise factor of the Howard College. He has Air Force, but not enough science. We'll see how he will respond, but if he loses this war of territory, the hybrid war will be even better. This doesn't cost me that much. I want to build military anyway, and I even get the culture production from Chaplain. We see another war on Pite. Wandering Wolf goes for the war of culture immediately, goes for military theory. Upgrades 1 more here, destroys the warrior to build a cannon. And grabs reserves, so 37 strength from him. I mean, now obviously Peter has extra reason to try to defend as much as possible because he has 2 ongoing wars. And with the wealthy territory here, just needs to spend a knight. We could see a very strong defense. Goes for Churchill even, yeah, a lot of surprise factors coming into play. Can go for air forces. Increase population, go for an air force 34. Destroys a lab. Goes for another air force, so 39. So you will be able to defend both of the wars for now. One of you obviously can sacrifice, and we might see that. He might sacrifice even cavalryman or cannon so that he doesn't lose this war, because of obviously there's the 5 extra if you just win even by 1. And for me, I will lose 1 yellow cube. That is not great because of my food situation. I really would have liked to have more. So maybe it was too greedy, but also there were a lot of things going correctly for Peter, getting that Churchill out, getting the extra rocks. I maybe didn't necessarily need the extra rocks, but I think they helped from the wealthy territory. So a lot of things going right for Peter's defense here. Kristen will open the freedom of movement. We'll use that to build an extra cannon. Could... Okay, goes for fast food chains. Yeah, I mean, Kristen has the problem that she has to find a way to generate culture. She is probably never gonna go for an active war, only defending the way it looks right now, and doesn't produce a lot of culture. So me and Pite are producing a lot of culture behind all of the strength. Wandering Wolf has a lot of rock production and good science, so he might come later on. But Kristen doesn't have culture, so yeah, maybe wanders are a good solution to this problem. We'll go for some food. Will she be able to defend aggressions is one issue. She could have gone for modern infantry this time. This is also a lot of strength if she fulfills these tactics. And I guess she probably has some defend cards. So I will lose 1 yellow cube here. I can push. We get the refugees. Kristen once again losing population. And yeah, in retrospect, definitely would have been better to not go for the opera, but go for the upgrade. I think the upgrade also would have made me stronger for the refugees, so that would have been nice and would have won me this war. So maybe too greedy there. I used the freedom of movement to put theology to opera, so more culture production. Can go for civil service, develop that this turn, so a lot of civil, even more civil actions. Sitting on 10 civil actions now. Upgrade the rifleman, so I'm up to 41 strength. As I said, that makes him the strongest. And then I get the patriotism and endowment of the arts. I mean, I'm still behind in culture quite a bit. Depending on whom. Pite definitely. Pite now has a really good position. Still producing a lot of culture. Is going to win, or has won the first war. Is maybe going to win the next one as well against Wandering Wolf, depending on the sacrifice. And even wins the refugees here. So more population and a little bit of extra culture. So really good turn of events for him. Wandering Wolf will sacrifice, so he gets 6 culture. Goes for modern infantry. Oh, Ken. Ah, nice. He uses the freedom of movement to put cavalry to cannon, and then he can just go for the modern infantry and copy the entrenchments, which is a better tactic than his Napoleonic army. Already has 3 cannons, so we'll go for 1 upgrade here. Probably copy the tactic. Oh, 2 upgrades even. Oh, doesn't even need to copy the tactic. Has his own positional army, so 38 strength for him. Starts building on the Eiffel Tower. This Eiffel Tower is really not that great at this point. I mean, you can finish it this turn, so maybe it's not too late. Yeah, maybe it's still fine. Yeah, I didn't see that he could finish it this turn. This is probably one of the last turns where it's even okay. Obviously, you mostly want that early on. And the next war. This one is from Pite. He's had 2 wars declared on him. Almost won both of them. And now he declares one on Kristen. Use the freedom to put 1 more into rifleman. Can destroy food, go for an extra knight. Destroy a mine, go for an extra knight. 65 strength. Urban growth and pro sport. So all out going for that war. He had to commit to military because of the wars by me and Wandering Wolf. And now he says, I already have this military. Why not use it on my own to go against Kristen? 65 strength, not that easy for Kristen to defend. She obviously has a lot of rocks here. Can go for modern infantry as well. The problems are probably civil actions. I mean, can upgrade, can destroy a mine and a lab. Go for rifleman, 51 strength. Upgrade 1 more, 55 strength. Yeah. Yeah, I think civil actions were the problem. If she had more, she maybe could have gone for. Yeah, but 3 modern infantry, or 2 modern infantry, a warrior, and 2 cannons wouldn't have been that easy. But yeah, is able to go up to 55, which is not bad. The game is also still going for a little bit, as we see vast territory. Kristen able to win this one for just warrior. That's nice for her, I guess. Yeah, maybe Kristen can still get value out of this military. Maybe she has a war that she can go for herself. But yeah, overall, this is a very bad position for her now. I will increase population, grab patriotism, grab reserves, go for a rifleman, grab tanks. So I said they didn't get air forces. There are still 2 copies of them left, but for now, Peter is the only one with air force, which is a big deal. As you can see, he's the strongest by far. But it's hard to keep up when you don't have air forces. We'll grab a bunch of cards here. We'll stay on 44 strength, so could even get aggressed by Pite. All the tides have turned. All the tables have turned. Wandering Wolf opens terrorism, so Christian, that is a big terrorism. I will lose an opera. Wandering Wolf will lose scientific method. Pite is going to lose the movies, so Christian can really destroy a lot here. Wandering Wolf goes for organized religion to get happy faces up. Another cannon, 41 strength, and now copies the other tactic. All right. 47 strength still, and with the Himeji should be able to defend if Pite goes against him. Even builds a swordsman and gets the Nobel Prize. Pite steals 17 culture. It's looking better and better for him. Goes for an aggression, but I'm actually able to defend because of a lot of defend cards. Goes for Hollywood. Hollywood is ambitious. Probably can't finish that ever. And he will even lose the movies because of Christian's terrorism. So, I don't know, maybe just taking it away from someone else. Christian is going to build another cannon. Build a single printing press. Not going to do that much, but we will see. Grabs communism. I mean, next turn she can, if there's another war, or if she has a war herself, she can go for war, destroy something, build a cannon. That's going to be a lot of extra strength. That's going to be 13 extra strength. That would be nice. I will push, get the Ravages of Time. I will lose the Roman Roads, losing even one yellow cube. And as you can see, food is a big issue for me. I will now decide to go for pro sports. I mean, they're pretty cheap, 5 rocks each. Gives me more strength, gets me out of happy face issues. Can increase population again. Use reserves for food. Go for patriotism. Go for another rifleman. There the Air Force now can grab one just to deny it. But I guess at this point, if we're realistically, I will never beat Pite. So my direct opponent is Wandering Wolf. Kristen is not looking too dangerous at this point. Maybe she goes for war, but I am preparing for that. 10 rocks, I could fulfill another tactic. Not enough science for the Air Forces, sadly. But obviously this is the last turn where wars can be played. So just maybe taking away the Air Forces from Wandering Wolf. He also doesn't look like he can go for war. Just trying to go for some good impacts. Pro Sports definitely helps with that. Yeah, so H4 will start. A lot of cards discarded. Maria Theresa lost. Wandering Wolf will go for the Red Cross. That's a really nice wonder for him. It would have been hard for me to deny that one. First of all, I have a lot of wonder, so it's hard to grab it, and I don't have any food. Wandering Wolf will then go for more strength. Goes for recopying his tactics. So he went from positional army to entrenchments to positional army again. Alright, alright. 63 strength from him. Pite is gonna go for an aggression. This time it works. I can't defend it. 7 rocks stolen. Goes for pro sports as well. Goes for engineering. Even gets himself a Nobel Prize. Finishes that. Finishes the Red Cross as well. Wandering Wolf getting 7 extra, so really a great wonder for Wandering Wolf. He got 24 plus 7, so 31 culture from that. Oil grabbed, but not really mattering too much. I mean, Pite could even finish the Hollywood next turn, but it's sitting at 4 culture at the moment, so not that great. Kristen's last chance to go for an aggression, to go for a war against me, but sees either has no war or doesn't see any benefit in trying it. Goes for the military alliance instead. But was getting 2 extra strength. Goes for religion. Goes for Marie Curie. For some extra culture collection, but yeah, at this point won't be able to finish the wonder. And is sitting on 55 culture, so rough game. Civil unrest, no one has discounted workers this time around. I will be able to grab mechanized agriculture to upgrade that. Get out of the starvation. use patriotism, endowment of the arts, destroy the other farm to go for an extra rifleman, going up to 61 strength. Grab revolutionary idea 1 and 2 to take them away from Pite, because he has that Harvard College. And then that's it. After also taking the military build-up. So 96 culture here. One Wolf has a lot more than that. Will get even more by going for an aggression on Kristen. Destroys a mine. Goes for another rifleman. Oh, sacrificed the rifleman with the image castle to get the extra 3 culture. Now has to rebuild that. Goes to another religion. I mean, some of impacts could be bad for Wandering Wolf. Another aggression from Pite on Kristen. Pite could even build it. It's to build one movies and then get Hollywood for 12, so not bad. Actually, relatively close before that. That International Red Cross really helped Wandering Wolf getting even close to Pite. So Pite, with going for all of these aggressions on me and on Kristen to get the extra rocks. Yeah, really nice being able to rebuild the movies and go for the Hollywood. And then Kristen's last turn can go for communism, nothing else, has no rocks. Those were stolen by Pite. So let's see the final impacts. First one is population, 12, 8, 22. That's a good start from me. And 10 from Kristen. So yeah, as I said, long shot to try to beat Pite. Running Wolf, maybe. I don't think he has the best impacts. And Kristen isn't really danger, so this could be the final standings, but there's quite a lot of impacts, obviously. Architecture, also pretty good for me. So 20 culture difference between me and Wandering Wolf. Happiness, 12, 16, 16. And then Kristen has 8. Next up we have agriculture, 2, 10, 5, and 8. So yeah, that's a good one for Wandering Wolf. Making the gap bigger. Colonies, 9, 3, 6, and 3. And the last one will be competition, 21, 20, 24, and 19. A lot of competition, and then even extra culture. Just 2 for Wandering Wolves. So yeah, congratulations, Pite. P-Tactician takes the win here. Yeah, 20 culture before Wandering Wolf, with 20 culture before me. As I said earlier on, all 3 of us had a really good start. Kristen had this really rough turn with the 4 civil actions lost and population lost and everything. Being in last position can just be very rough. So yeah, but me and the other guys had a really strong economy early on, and Pite was able to use that in the best way. He had that one turn where it was critical, where he was able to defend the double war. If that had turned out differently, things would have been, come out differently at the end too, I'm pretty sure. Wandering Wolf having to sacrifice unit this early on, as he had to with that war, is not what you want. So yeah, well done by Pite, being able to get that early air force and get Churchill to defend. After that, using the war himself to go against Kristen. And then Wandering Wolf also getting that big wonder. Maybe I could have even thought about denying that one in that turn. But getting 30 culture from the International Red Cross, just having to spend food, which he already had. Really well done by him. And yeah, once again, congratulations to Pite and Wandering Wolf for taking the most points in this game. Rough game for Kristen. For me, it was an okay game. But in the end, not super good. Being stuck on this tactic, not getting the early air forces was a little bit unfortunate. But overall, a pretty fun match. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And yeah, there's going to be one more 4-player, one more 3-player, and I'm maybe even going to show 1 or 2 of the 2-player games, because some of them were pretty exciting. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you for the next one as well, guys.